Record.
Recording in progress.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Welcome to Deep Dive. Today is Tuesday, July 2nd, 2024, and we are starting our webinar now with a lovely tune, a wonderful one in the title of In It to Win It by Lerato Shadare, and it's an outstanding song. If you can follow the nonverbal communication that Dr. Derek has added to that song. So without further ado, please just let us start with that beautiful melody for the night. Over to you, Dr. Derek, and thank you for all who've joined us.
Your next stop is ONPASSIVE.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Derek. Did you see that? Not only did we see the visual images, but also in one of the slides, when Lerato Shadari was also performing at a concert. That's amazing. All right, we're continuing with the mindset. Boy, and the topic today is a continuation from last week that we all so eagerly awaiting to hear from our wonderful Dr. T. And she talked to us about be awesome by adopting these habits. So she shared some of those habits, and today she will share the remainder of it and more. And she is our international motivational speaker who is also a life coach, empowerment trainer, and talk show host. And she has written and published 4 books. And she's also the editor of Discovering You magazine. Dr. T, please inspire us so we can be prepared for what Dr. Benny has to tell us about the topic for the day, which I know I'm already a victim of. I love your smile, Dr. T. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. We have to get used to being on Zoom again. So I know some of you are going through a shock. Hey, so all is well. Hang on in there. And that's another habit we're going to add. We're going to add the habit of hanging on in there. How about that? That would be number 13. But anyway, I welcome all of you. Thank you so much for allowing me to present on this platform. And I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, you wonderful, awesome brand ambassadors. So again, we are going to do part 2 of being awesome by adopting these 12 habits for life. And we want to understand, as I shared with you all last week, that our habits, they influence our physical, mental, and emotional well-being. And it's very important that we understand that if we're going to be productive, happy, purposeful human beings, that we are shaped by our habits. So I wanted to name 12 habits, and there's so many more that we can look at. But I want to just address, I believe, the most important habits that we need to focus on to have an awesome lifestyle. And I shared with you all last week that it takes only 14 days to form a habit. Anywhere from 18 to 250 days to break a habit. And understand this, it depends on the complexity of the habit and how much time you are willing to put in it to break that habit. So what we want to do right now, we want to dive in right now and look at the last habits that we're going to cover tonight, which are the last 6 habits. But I want to do a recap of the first 6 that I shared with you last week. And the first habit being having consistent sleep patterns. The second one, if you're both of you are taking notes, mindful eating habits. Very, very important. Number 3, daily physical activities. Number 4, regular hydration. Number 5, positive thinking. And number 6, lifelong learning. And if you just apply these 6 habits right here, you'll be well on your way. And I'm pretty sure most of you would agree with that. So But let's dive in and we want to look at the last 6 habits. And I'm hoping that when I put these 2 sets together, you'll be saying, wow, if I can accomplish this in this lifetime, I'll be well on my way to having an awesome life. And I believe that we can do it. We can do it. But it takes some work, it takes some discipline, and it takes a heart to understand that if we're going to have our best life now, we have to incorporate the proper habits so that we can live that awesomeness, so we can live that purpose that God has mandated for each and every one of us. So let's get ready to go into habit number 7. Habit number 7 that I want to share with you all tonight. And again, remember I shared with you all last week that what I'm sharing with you is nothing new. You all have heard this before. But what we want to do is we want to reiterate the importance of making sure that you are practicing these things every single day of your life. And like I said to you all last week, some of you may say, well, I do all of them. I've got them all going on, Dr. T. Some of you may say, well, I don't have them all going on, but I'm working on most of them. And some of you may say, I don't do any of them at all. But and thank you for being honest if you're in that place. But wherever you are, we know that you can start incorporating the habits that I am going to share with you tonight into your life, because we do want to have an awesome life, because that's the mandate. That's what God wants all of us to have. He came to give us life and life more abundantly, not up in heaven, but right here in this realm. But before we can even accomplish those things, we have to understand that we have to get rid of the bad habits and bring in the new. And they're not really new. They're things that we should be practicing every day. But if we're not practicing them every day, let's start doing that. So again, number 7, financial discipline. Wow. Financial discipline, ladies and gentlemen. A couple of weeks ago, I shared with you the purpose of wealth, how the purpose of building wealth and the purpose of money, and the importance of understanding how money works. If you're going to have financial discipline, you have to understand how to manage it. You have to understand why financial discipline is very important. And I shared with you last time we spoke about this. There are three areas. Money is intended to do what? The first of all, make your loved ones comfortable. Make sure that they have what they need and keep them comfortable. That's the first thing that you want to use your money for. Making sure if you have a family or extended family, you want to make sure that at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, that they're going to be comfortable and they're going to have the things that they need to thrive. The second reason why you have money, why God has entrusted you with money, so you can take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Make sure that you're paying your bills, making sure that all your financial obligations are taken care of, making sure you can have your fun, do the things that you want to do, enjoy your money and buy things that you want to buy. Yes, you can buy things that you want to buy, but it's all about you at that time. The first thing, again, is making sure that if you have family members, that they're comfortable, they're taken care of. And the second thing is you want to make sure you're taking care of you and your financial obligations. And the third thing I shared with you about money is that you want to make sure that you're using your money for the God-given purpose that God has given you. Have you ever wondered, I think about the parable, which I shared with you also, about the 3 servants. And there's so different variations depending on the gospel that you listen to. There's so many variations of this story. Look at the one that I think there was one servant that had 5 talents, another one had 2, and the last one had 1. Why do you think that the merchant, the rich man, gave the one that buried his to the one that had the most, the 5? And I'm going to tell you why. This is the revelation. See, and I hope this makes sense to you. God is not so much moved by people who are poor. You may say, oh, he should be so empathetic and so sympathetic. No, because see, poverty is not your portion. Abundance and wealth is your portion. That's a covenant that God made with Abraham and with Moses. That's a covenant that he made with us. We being his children. If you say that you confess God and you confess Christ, we should be living as wealthy individuals, not impoverished. So, if you are walking in poverty and lack, you're walking out of the privileges that God has called you to walk in. He has called you to be wealthy. He's called you to be well taken care of, not to be walking around in poverty and lack. So if you're walking around in poverty and lack, It's not that he doesn't care about you being impoverished, but he's saying to you that you're not walking in my perfect will. So what God does, he wants to bless people who have a purpose for their money. And this is the reason why, if you look at the parable, the one who had the one talent and he buried that talent, that's why he was called wicked and evil. He was wicked because the man was saying you could have taken that money and you could have invested it and put it in a bank and drawn interest, but you didn't do that. So he gave it to the one who took this talent and made it multiply over. When God gives us money, when he entrusts us with money, it is to fulfill a purpose that he has put us on this earth to fulfill. And the three areas that I covered, to make sure that your family's taken care of, make sure that you're taking care of your own financial obligations, and to be able to use the money as a tool to accomplish that, what he's called you to do. Number 7, having financial discipline. If you want to have an awesome life on this earth, in this realm, adapt the habit of being financially disciplined. Number 8, time management. Write this down, ladies and gentlemen. Time management. One of the most important commodities that God has given us. And I am pretty sure that all of you agree that this is the one thing that we do that we waste. We waste time. And one thing about time, once you put it out there, you can't take it back. When time goes by, you can't go back and say, oh, let me get that time back so I can go ahead and do this again because I messed that up. No, it doesn't work like that. Once that clock moves, that hand moves, that's it. It's going forward. It's not waiting for you. And unfortunately, we live in a society where we take time for granted. We've got to learn to make time to do the things that we have been called to do. And that comes by prioritizing your tasks, setting deadlines, and eliminating non-essential activities. It also means that we're supposed to add things into our life that institute self-growth. And make time for self-care. Also make sure that you incorporate self-care when you're looking at how you manage your time. You don't want to waste time. You have 24 hours of a day. 8 hours you use to sleep, and the other 16 hours are to do the things that you're supposed to do, taking care of your family, self-care, working on your purpose, doing the things that God has called you to do. And the other 8 hours, as I said before, is for you to rest your body so you can rejuvenate yourself and get ready to start your day over again. So if you want to have an awesome lifestyle, if you want to be ready to do what God has called you to do, make sure that you incorporate the habit of proper time management. It's an awesome commodity that most of us waste, but it's time for us to stop wasting time and utilize it so that we can reach our full potential in every area of our lives. Number 9, strong social connections. Strong social connections. God has made us social beings. No one is supposed to be in this world alone. What did he tell Adam? He said, it's not good for man to be alone. Now you can question that. You may say, well, he's talking about just Adam, or was he talking about mankind? I believe he was talking about mankind because God knew that he was getting ready to create a race, a nation out of this one man. Whether they fell or not, God was going to create, and he was going to be able to procreate through Adam and Eve. And he recognized that, and remember, it was not Adam that recognized that he was lonely. See, Adam didn't know he was alone or lonely. He was complete. He was a complete and whole individual. That God saw there was no one suitable. All the animals that he created, he realized there was no animal suitable for Adam. So at that moment, he realized that I need to create other human beings so this man, so that Adam could be a social human being, so that he could procreate, so that he can further and build. And you can't build by yourself. You cannot create by yourself because you need other hands to get involved in your project. Nobody great has done anything by themselves. And you know the whole cliche, behind every great man, this is what I always say, there's a greater woman. And it takes a village, right, to raise a child. So again, we're talking about socializing. So if you truly want to have an awesome life, Incorporate the habit of having a strong social connection. You are not here to be a lone ranger. If you find yourself spending a lot of time alone, get involved in different activities. Find different groups to join. Like right now, most of us are active with Deep Dive, or Passion, Dream Team, other things that we watch with ONPASSIVE. Get involved. This is another way with networking and building friendship. We're all on a first name basis now. Okay, we can kick it, have fun, and this is all part of that. Join clubs outside of webinars. And if you're active in your church, spend time with other people. If you're a single person, spend time with the singles. If you're married, spend time with the married people. Do things where you can be interactive and grow. Because when you spend time with other people of like mind, that's very like vision, then you're going to grow, you're going to evolve. And remember again, God did not create any of us to be loners. He created all of us to interact with other people. So why? So we can evolve, so we can grow, so it can be purposeful, because we cannot be purposeful unless we are involved with other people. So again, if you want to have that awesome lifestyle and do what God has called you to do, incorporate the habit of strong social connections. Number 10, stress management. Stress management. Recognize that personal stressors and responses is the first step in managing stress effectively. Ask yourself, when you're stressed out, what are those stressors? What are the things that are around you or in your life that are causing you to be stressed out? Are they toxic relationships? Think about that. Are you around people that are toxic? Are you around people who have different habits and lifestyles, and they just don't coincide with what you're doing, and it stresses you out? That's important. Are you a victim again of poor time management? Again, if you don't manage your time properly, then you're going to find yourself being frustrated because so much time will go by and you will not be able to accomplish the things that you set out to do. What about poor money management? Another stressor. If you're in debt, if you're making money, you're working hard, making money, but you have no idea where your money went, that's a stressor. Or you put in all these long hours and you make all this little money, and before you know it, you're broke. You're living from paycheck to paycheck because you don't know how to invest. You don't know how to spend your money properly. You don't know how to save. You don't know how to invest your money. You have poor habits with your money. That's a stressor. And what about having poor health? That's definitely a stressor. Being in a body that feels broken, you're always in pain, you're in discomfort, you're always going back and forth to the doctor. That's a stressor. What are some of the things that we can do to de-stress? Something simple as going for a brisk walk. Something as simple as taking your dog for a walk, going for a ride, doing crossword puzzles. How about a movie marathon? I like to do that. Sometimes I just take a day out. I just think of something to do, and then I don't do it. I just put everything aside. I may put on different movies that I like. It might be, for me, I love mysteries. I like mystery stories and try to figure out who done it. That's what I like to do, just to de-stress. Whatever it might be, take a nice warm bath. Go to the spa, treat yourself to a new hairdo, whatever it may be. But do things to de-stress yourself, because when you understand and incorporate the habit of stress management, you'll be well on your way to experiencing an awesome life. Because you cannot enjoy life if you find yourself stressed out all the time. And think about the things that are around you, the people that are around you, things that you're not doing properly that bring you on stressors. Like I said, we talked about your time management. We talked about money management. We talked about poor health. These are things that you need to look at and ask yourself, do I need to come up higher in these areas? Do I need to work on these areas so that I won't be so stressed out? Because when you're stressed out, remember I said to you all last time that when your body is under stress, your immune system shuts down for at least 6 hours. You don't have any defenses. And that's when it's so easy for sickness and disease to enter into your body. But if you live a life of constant stress, have you ever met people that's always stressed out, they're always sickly? Why? Because their immune system is not operating at the ultimate way they should be operating. This is the reason why they're sickly, because the immune system is down and they cannot fight off sickness and disease. But when you learn how to de-stress and learn how to keep those things at bay that stress you out, you know your stressors, keep them at bay, then you'll learn how to operate at your optimum performance. And that'll be a way to live an awesome lifestyle and fulfill that with things that God has called you to do. Number 11, I'm almost finished. Number 11, regular health checkups. This is so important. Regular health checkups. I don't care if you're practicing holistic practices, that's fine. If you're watching your diet, if you don't eat meat, whatever it may be, I'm happy for you. That's wonderful. But I still say, and I still say this, that you should still get checkups. I don't know if you recall my cancer story, but I told you all before I was diagnosed with cancer, 10 years. Over 10 years, no checkup, no nothing. I thought I was living large. I had a new car. I had a new home. I had a dream job. Everything was going well. I was a picture of health, so I thought. And one day I just made a decision. I said, let me go see a doctor. I wasn't feeling fine. I was feeling fine. I just decided to go and see a doctor because at the time I was starting my speaking business, going out speaking to women, and I wanted to be an example to them. I wanted to let them know that in order for you to be the person that you were called to be and have that ultimate lifestyle, that you need to make sure that you're healthy. So I wanted to be an example. This is the reason why I went to see a doctor. And shortly after my visit, isn't it amazing how you go see a doctor and everything start falling apart? Okay. But anyway, after I saw the doctor several weeks later, I started having this excruciating pain. It just came out of nowhere. But you already know it didn't come out of nowhere. It was coming because everything was incubating. And next thing you know, they found out that my hemoglobin count was too low. It was supposed to be a 10 or 11, but mine was a 6. Mine was a 6, which was very low for me, for my size, for where I was in my life. There was a very low hemoglobin count. And then the doctor also discovered that my lymph nodes were enlarged. So after I went to the doctor, I found myself going downhill. My body was in excruciating pain. And I believe if I had gone to a doctor sooner, they would have caught the cancer sooner. When I was diagnosed, ladies and gentlemen, I was in the 4th and last stage of the cancer. I had a tumor in my chest, the size of a man's fist, like 9 centimeters, and one on my spine. I went from a wheelchair to a walker to a cane. And if anybody saw me right now, you would say, Dr. T, you were never sick a day in your life. They wouldn't believe it. But I went through that. And I truly believe it's because I did not take care of myself. I did not see a doctor. It could have been diagnosed sooner. And again, it's not about, I think that you should use doctors for preventive care. Get your blood work done. Make sure you do your blood. Even people who practice naturopathic medicine or people who are naturalists or people who do holistic medicine, I believe that they also believe in blood work because your blood tells you a lot about where you are in your health. So if you don't want to go to a doctor, at least make sure you have your blood work. Make sure women that you have your mammograms, your pap smears. Men, get your prostates examined. Those are things that you do that you just make sure that you are taking care of yourself. These are the things that we should do to be responsible human beings and taking care of your health. And incorporating your diet and being hydrated and things like that, make sure that you get regular checkups. And I think that's a habit that we all should incorporate. I believe if I had had that habit in my life, that maybe I would not have been sick with cancer and they could have caught it sooner and I would not have had to go through what I went through. But trust me, I was in a lot of pain and a lot of discomfort. A lot of pain and a lot of discomfort. Dr. T suffered. It was a very horrific experience for me. And anybody who's gone through cancer or any insidious disease knows there was no picnic. So I encourage all of you, no matter where you are, what you're practicing, at least get regular preventive checkups. And number 12, last but not least, having a consistent prayer life. Having a consistent prayer life. I don't care what habit you incorporate in your life. Like DrBenny would say, if you don't have God, get off the wagon. Just get off the wagon. Seriously, you guys would just throw it all in the towel. I don't care if you manage your money. I don't care if you eat well. I don't care if you manage your time. I don't care if you have all the friends in the world. If you leave God out of the equation, You don't have anything. If you don't do anything else that I haven't shared with you today, I want you to make sure that you do this one. Have a consistent prayer life every day. You should be talking to God every day. And you wake up, when you wake up in the morning, when your eyes open, and you take that deep breath, you should be saying to yourself, "Good morning, good morning, God." Whatever you want to call him, Father, whatever you want to call him, good morning. Because if it weren't for you, I would not be here right now. And a lot of people need to understand that if you don't have a habit of praying, then you might as well call yourself an atheist. If you're not in the habit of praying, then you might as well just give yourself up because you're not going to have a life. I don't care how successful you are, you're not being blessed by God. It's going to be long. It's going to be short-lived. Your success. But God guarantees us when we have him on our side, we win. We win in every area of our life. By incorporating the 11 habits plus this one, you're going to have an awesome life. If you fail in everything else, you may say, Dr. T, I'm not real good with stress management. I'm not real good with time management. I'm not real good with taking care of my health. I'm not real good with socializing. I'm not good with that. But this is one. If you don't do anything else, this is one that you should make sure that you're consistent in. Every single day, talk to your Heavenly Father. Talk to your Lord and Savior. Make sure you let him know that I appreciate you. Spend time with him. Spend time with him. And I'm staying on this a little while because I want you to understand that I don't want you all to feel intimidated or feel bad. You may say, well, my prayer time is only 5 minutes. Well, start there. Start at 5 minutes. Give him something. Acknowledge that you know that he's real. Tell God every day how much you appreciate him. And I'm staying on this because I do this every day. I don't care what I'm going through. I tell God, I appreciate you. I need you. I love you. I tell him that. I let him know that without you, I can't do anything. I can't go through my day without him. No matter what other habits I'm not doing or all the habits I am doing, if I'm not doing this, I'm not on the winning team. Well, if God is for you, who can be against you? And remember, you can do all things through him that strengthens you. So number 12, incorporate and have a consistent prayer life. And I believe that when you do these 12 habits, ladies and gentlemen, you will have an awesome lifestyle by incorporating these 12 habits. And let me do a recap. Number 1, a consistent sleep pattern. Number 2, mindful eating. Number 3, daily physical activity. Number 4, regular hydration. Number 5, positive thinking. Number 6, lifelong learning. Number 7, ladies and gentlemen, financial discipline. Number 8, time management. Number 9, strong social connections. Number 10, stress management. Number 11, regular health checkups. And last but not least, the most important one I say for last, having a consistent prayer life. And when you can do all 12 of these habits, I promise you, you're going to have an awesome life and you'll be glad you did. I'm Dr. T, and thank you so much for allowing me to share. Thank you.
We thank you to Dr. T for sharing those 12 awesome things to do. And I knew that you just nailed it last week with those 6, but today's even more than what I was looking forward to. I can see Queen Tony clapping both hands. Queen Connie, turn that from yellow to the shade of your skin color, your skin tone. I'm just joking. Yes, Queen Tony, I'll let you speak before I proceed.
Yes. Thank you, Queen Debbie. Um, excellent as always, Dr. T. And as you were going through the last 6, I could see right away two things in the list that I need to work on, the time management and stress management. And I think those two go hand in hand, because when you feel, and that's what happens when you feel like you have very little time to do so much, then stress sets in. And I thank God that you shared the 12 habits with us these last 2 weeks. And, just reflecting on the things that I still need to work on. And I remember what you were saying. You had shared with me personally about time management, prioritizing. And so, again, I appreciate you for sharing. And it was a good message. It was good.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Johnny. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Queen Tony. Thank you so much, Dr. T. We're so grateful. Yes, Dr. Derek. Over to you, Dr. Derek.
All right,
I hear
wonderful.
you, Dr. Derek.
Peace, blessings, and enough love to all our kings and queens in the house. Wonderful. Thank you all very much. Really appreciate it. And thank you very much, Queen Debbie. Thank you for acknowledging me. Really appreciate it. But thank you very much, Queen Dr. Tunishai Ford. Looking beautiful and lovely this wonderful Tuesday evening. I just want to thank you very much for that awesome presentation, 12 habits. And I noticed you were going in reverse, and you talk about
Good
Abraham
evening.
and you talk about Moses. But I want to go a little further. If we go a little further and go all the way back to Genesis 1, in the beginning, and verse 1, God. And if we notice, God created everything to our comfort, everything to our luxury. He didn't create us on day one. He didn't create us on day two, or three, or four, or five. No. He waited until everything was in place for our comfort.
Yes.
So God don't want no dibby dibby people in serving him. God want people who are wealthy. But if we understand what wealth is not an accumulation of diamonds and pearls and gold and no, not at all. So thank you very much, Queen Dr. Tunishai Ford. And I know you have your PhD because you definitely praise him daily. So definitely you I know, I know, I know I'll get you with that one. You praise him daily. So yes, you have your PhD, definitely. But what I want to say is that God is interested in us to be wealthy. And that means our thoughts, our actions, our deeds, our conversation, and our performance. And yes, and so you might say, and I thank you for that example with the man that what got the most, and he still give him the one that the man hide or buried, because God give in abundance. When you put yourself in the the direction to get that abundance, You can't be a couch potato and expect abundance. That don't make no sense. Okay? And it's again, we're not talking about just money because a lot of people have money and they are not wealthy. That kind of sound confusing. But Dr. Tunishai A Ford brought it out clearly. If we listen, if we don't get it after these years of all of these mindset that we have been getting, then I don't know. We maybe need to perform. So Dr. Tunishai A Ford, maybe you might have to perform surgery and just crack open some brain and put it in. Just crack open two
I
brain.
got you.
Because that was so crystal clear, so awesome. You hit the nail and hit the nail and hit the nail. So if we don't get it, oh my goodness, we need to check. In Jamaica, we have a man by the name of a doctor by the name of Dr. Agri Irons. Now he's the man that's in charge of Bellevue. So if you don't get it, you're off on the deep end. You know, you need to go to Bellevue where Dr. Gregory Agri Irons would just help you out. Right? So thank you very much. Very, very much. Queen Dr. Tunishai A Ford. Really appreciate that mindset. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr.
Over to you,
Thank you, Dr.
Queen.
Thank you.
Derek, thank you. When you speak, no one should speak after you. So I appreciate that. Does anyone have a comment before I
You
call on
have
Dr. Benny? Because
you have Dr. Benny go and speak, man.
yeah, I was just wondering if there's anyone who had to say something regarding Dr. T's presentation, because Dr. Benny will be the last person to do her talk with Dr. T for Dr. T's presentation. I don't see any hand up, so Dr. Benny, over to you.
Sorry, the first thing I have to smile. Thank you. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon to my queens and kings around the globe. I want to thank you all for coming, really, for coming. You guys know that it's important for you guys to come here and listen to Dr. T. But people do not really don't know the importance. Dr. Derry already said it, that attending deep dive, dream team, you guys will come here and learn a lot about a mindset. I want to take this special moment to thank our Heavenly Father for bringing each and everyone this evening. As you guys notice that I always mention, and Dr. T did that you are breathing at the moment, right? Now, not everyone is breathing. There are a lot of people in the hospital paying for this breath. They're paying for it, but you are not. So that's why she said that we should pray. Even if you don't have time to pray, as you are stepping out of the house, just say, "Thank you, Father." I know that it's very difficult. They have taken the prayer lines for our children in this country. I notice where I am at the moment. There's a one guy, he is 30 something years old. He said he doesn't care going to church, that at their age, they don't really care again. I said, "What do you mean?" They have been trained. So another friend said that it's because they were not well trained. Their parents did not train them. So even I don't care what is happening, parents, right now, if you are single and you are married or getting married, please, from the beginning, if you have a child, a baby, training that child, that prayers is very, very important. See,
Yes.
our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. You teach your child that you can do it. I know it is difficult. They have stopped that thing in this country, and that's why things are where they are at the moment. But if you don't have children and you're ready to get married, I need you to think about it. God created all of us in His image. You may not see Him, but you breathe every day. How do you get up in the morning? Tell me. Come on now. Anyway, I want to take this moment to thank God for bringing someone so important to all of us. Because if it wasn't for that individual, you and I will not be here today, because I will not know I will not know even my Cameroonian brothers and sisters. I will not know them. But this particular individual, do you guys know that he checked something? This particular individual said, "Thank you, Dr. Benny." I'm not lying. Because he attended Ron and Omino show. I was there. So I remember how I always upload any like Dr. T stuff, Dr. Derek and Dr. Pat. You know, I always go to your YouTube channel and get some stuff. So when I uploaded that Omino and Ron, do you guys know that I saw my phone. I saw a message on my phone. He said, "Thank you, Dr. Benny." I smiled. I was so surprised. Was it? Look, Mr. Ash Mofere. Look, I didn't know that he watches everything. Everything he does. But anyway, God sent him to all of us. When you guys have time, create time just to thank God for his family, for him, that God should strengthen him. Today, I am going to talk about insider threat. I'm coming for that. I want us to thank our God and pray for Mr. Ash Mofere. Do you guys understand when you have that time? Thank you. But anyway, Dr. T, I would say extraordinary mindset. This mindset that you bring all the time here, you come and teach us and we learn. Then you would teach, then Queen Julie Pierre, she says something that you said, or she heard, or she came and said something that I will never forget. And you said the same thing, and our CEO came and said the same thing. Like-minded people. Follow positive people. If you are negative, I will run away from you. Thank you, Dr. T. I appreciate you. Queen Debbie, Miyaka.
Beautiful. Wow. Dr. Benny, you just released a secret that we didn't know, but thank you for sharing the story of the thank you message that you received from Mr. Mufare. And just before I move on, I want to say to you, Dr. T, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. That challenge that you went through with your health is something that we're benefiting from now. God did it for a reason. Here we are, benefiting from that experience, and it can help us enhance the quality of our life. Thank you for always sharing that story about your journey with this and other forums that you get the opportunity to present on. And we always appreciate you every Tuesday you come here, and any forum you present at. If I don't show up, it's for one reason or the other, but thank you. Keep doing what you do.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Queen Debbie. I appreciate you.
Very much appreciated. Okay. All right. I had a very nasty experience today, and I know that I'm going to learn more tips from my darling Queen sister, Dr. Benny, who is a specialist in that field. Now, cybersecurity is her area of specialization. We just listen to it and we listen. Some of us don't even listen. You join the webinar, you mute yourself, you don't say anything, and then you leave at the end of it. And you show up another week. But just showing up already means you are interested. You like what's going on. You are part of it. Just the showing up part of it is very, very much appreciated. Listening is another thing because not everyone is visual, and some people are just oral. They don't like to read, and others prefer to read. But I tell you, her teachings have really helped me because I'm about to lose a lot of money, and I was so persistent today, and I had some flashback on some of her trainings that helped me. So my bank is going to refund all what has been going out since January, and I did not notice until I saw a pending today. And I called to find out what that pending was. And it just gave a ripple effect. It's not just now, ma'am. You had this, you had that, and then I went through the last 8 months and put everything together. But I have been listening to DrBenny, and I put it into practice today. So DrBenny is the specialist in cybersecurity, and she's well trained in every aspect of that. So please, if I have to introduce her, the webinar will end without you hearing actually what she does. But let us hear, most importantly, what she has for us. Someone who has done PhD, that's a lot of research, and she has certification in 9 areas of information technology, and she's going to train us today on cybersecurity. DrBenny, we appreciate you, and I'm passing it back to you, sis. Thank you for the lovely prayer as well.
Thank you. I'm glad that I'm touching people's hand at the moment. Thank you. Wow. Okay. Do you guys know things are happening within companies? You have members within companies. They know that they will be fired. They will do a lot of things to hurt the company. You guys know that. Today, I am not going to talk about password. Today, I am going to talk about insider threat. As you all know, insider threat refers to a risk posed to an organization. The organization is not only ONPASSIVE. The organization is any other company all over the globe by an individual. Within that company, who have access to sensitive information and have potential to misuse or exploit malicious exposure. Now, this include what? Employees, right? It includes contractors or even business partners who have privileged access to the company's system and the data. So I am going to, if you guys don't mind, let me see if I can use Zoom again to share my screen. If not, I will just do it this way. You have a lot of bad individuals within your company. What they do is they will try to access or steal some of the information and sell it out there. They try to hurt the company itself, misuse the company's name and everything. Yes, insider threat. Some of them you have intended and unintended insider threat. So if you guys don't mind, I am things are happening within this company that I did not prepare I didn't prepare my topic until today, no, yesterday, when I thought about something that happened within this company. insider threat. If you guys don't mind, just Sister Debbie, just give me a minute. I'm trying to see how I can upload my document because I am not used to again with well, I like my all connect. So, so
Take your time, Dr. Benny.
thank you. I think the best thing is live.
Now that come around, is it you or somebody else?
Man, you know, he always working on something else.
Hi, Sister Debbie.
Yes. Here. Oh, great. This is it here. Okay, hold on. Perfect.
Yeah, you got it. You can see it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
still have it, girl. You still have it.
Oh, thank you. Thank
You
you.
have a great retentive memory. Back to you.
Oh, great. Okay. See, like I said, when I heard of something that transpired within our company, then yesterday, like I said, I did not prepare. I said, no, let me say something today. Let me find that topic, insider threat. So this is the definition of insider threat. An insider threat is a type of cyber attack, right? Originating from an individual who works for what? ONPASSIVE or any other company has authorized access to its network or the system. So an insider threat could be a current or a former employee, consultant, board member, you hear that? Board member, business partner, and could be intentional, unintentional, or malicious. Things are happening. So when we talk about intentional insider threat, it is a threat that occurs when an individual set out to purposely cause harm to an organization. That is what is happening here. So many intentional insider threats aim to get even with a company over what? A lack of recognition or failure to meet expectations, such as not receiving a desired bonuses or promotion. Because despite the fact that some of let me say the co-workers or employees, when they receive bonuses, but they still try to cause harm. Unintentional insider threat involves data being lost or stolen as a result of employees' error or negligence. Accidental unintentional insider threat occurs during human error, an individual making mistakes that leads to data leak, security attacks, or stolen credentials. And then you have third party. You guys know about third party, right? Like the bank that our company were utilizing, it was not our own bank, but it was a third party bank. So I'm just giving you an example for that. So a third party threat is typically a business partner or a contractor that will compromise an organizational security. Third party threat can be a result of negligence or malicious activity. When it comes to the malicious threat, now you guys can just look at this diagram here. When I try to design it, it shows that this is how malicious threat looks like. Malicious threat is a form of what? Intentional insider threat that intends now to cause harm either for personal benefit or as an act of vengeance. Vengeance can be revenge, right? Okay. So malicious insider threat aims to leak sensitive information or data, harass companies' directors. That's what they do out there. Sabotage the corporate equipment. That's what they do. Systems, and they steal data to try and advance their career. You guys know what is happening, right? That is what is happening right now. Now you have collusive threat. Collusive threat is a type of malicious insider threat in which one or more insider threat individuals work with an external partner, right? You hear that? External partner that's outside this organization to compromise our organization or any other organization. Oh, yes. Insider threat individuals. Okay. So there are two types of actors. You have pounds and you have turnclocks. So pounds are company employees manipulated into carrying out malicious activities, such as disclosing their user credentials or downloading malware. Pounds are often targeted by attackers out there through social engineering or spear phishing campaign. Then the next you have turnclock. It's an employee who actively turns to their employer. Turnclock often act to gain what? Financial or to cause harm to an organization. However, turnclock also include whistleblower who serve to bring public attention into failing of their employer. So additional insider threat, we have collaborators. We have lone wolf. You guys can see the diagram here, right? When I was trying to design it, I saw wolf. So being collaborators, a collaborator is an employee who collaborates with cyber criminals out there and uses their authorities access to steal what? Sensitive information, such as customers' information or intellectual property. The next we have GOF. It's an employee who believes they are exempt from their organization security policies. Remember that when you move from one organization to another, I believe most of those organizations, they will write their policies and procedures. The policies and procedures for all of us to follow. First, I will give an example, like the NDA. You have NDA, which we started with GoFounder, right? Everybody have to sign that NDA. When we migrated to the ecosystem, we have to sign what? The NDCA, which is what? Non-disclosure confidential agreement. We have to sign it. We have to abide. You read and then you sign. So it happens to every company. We have to follow the procedures, policies. That is what is happening. If you don't follow, then you cannot continue to be within this our amazing company or any other company all over the globe. So we have lone wolf. Lone wolf attackers work alone to hack organizations or seek out vulnerabilities. So when I talk about vulnerabilities, it means weakness, right? In the codes and software. So you have developers that they develop those codes. Then you have quality assurance that they will try to make sure that the codes that the developers they wrote it correctly. That what I'm saying is that the quality assurance will peer review everything that the developers have written. And that's what is happening within the software development companies or all over the globe. So the lone wolf now attackers work alone to hack organization or seek out that vulnerabilities in the code and software. So they often seek to gain what? To elevate levels of privileges, such as the database, which you all know that within our any company, when it comes to the database, it has all the information of, let me say, all the employees. So within our own company, the database contains every information that you and I have. And pretty soon it's going to have information about the customers as well. So a lot of people will try to steal those information to sell it out there. And anyway, we just have to be careful. So there will still password as well that will enable them to gain access now for more sensitive information. So how do you protect it? How do we protect this company or any other company? To protect the company or ONPASSIVE from the insider threat, it is essential to implement multi-layers of securities approach, right? That include the following: access control. You limit the access to sensitive data and system based on the job, the rules and responsibilities. There are a lot of individuals, or should I say employees, that they have been employed. There are certain things, the rules and responsibilities that it's been given to all of them. They're not going to give someone who cleans the floor, give them the opportunity to access the database. And I do understand that a lot of them, they don't know how to do that. So when we talk about the access control, it limits that sensitive data and the system based upon the rules and responsibilities. It employs the strong authentication method to ensure only authorized. So like I will call him King, Brother Kumoran. He has, let me say, if he attends or join any organization, they will ask him to create his username and password. Now, when you create your username and password, hopefully you are utilizing the your password should be strong, right? Which means that I cannot come and steal any of your information. So the authentication that is being given, it is only you that is being authorized to log into your own system, despite the fact that we have cyber criminals that can still hack. But the only way that they can hack, it all depends upon how you created your own password, right? So next we have monitoring tools. You use the monitoring tools now to track and analyze the user's behavior, the network activities, and the data access pattern. Now you have to set up an alert for suspicious activities that could indicate the insider threat. Now, in every company, there is always an employee training. It is a must that they have to train you, because if you move from, let me say, from a DC government and then going to Homeland Security, you know that DC government is different from Homeland Security. So whoever, the HR there will still train you. You have to know how the Homeland Security operate. You got to learn and know the in and out. So that is why they say they have to provide a comprehensive cybersecurity training to the employees to raise the awareness about the insider threat and how to recognize and report suspicious activities. Encourage a culture for security within our organization. You know, when I call about our organization, and I smile instead of me saying that our company ONPASSIVE, right? It's important. Next, you have incident response plan. I notice, as for myself, within the federal government, as a consultant, there are certain documents that I have to create as an information system security officer, information system security manager. system cyber security control assessor or auditor. The documents that you have to create, one of the documents is called incident response plan. Develop and regularly update the incidents should, in case there is any incidents that occur within any organization, you have to update it, right? You update that incident response plan to address that particular incident threat promptly and effectively. Define the rules and responsibilities for responding to the incidents and outline the steps to contain and mitigate the impact of that threat. The next we talk about data loss prevention. You have to implement the data loss prevention tools to monitor and control the transfer of sensitive data within and outside of ONPASSIVE or any other organization. You use encryption and other data protection measures to safeguard the data at rest and data in transit. So there's another thing we talk about, background check, right? I noticed I never knew that working in a nursing home as a nursing assistant, some of my friends, nursing home or working within that agency, they have to do background check. I did not know that. I thought it's only within the IT company that they do a background check, but it is all over the place that they have to do it in order to protect the company. So conducting thorough background check on employees, contractors, and vendors with access to sensitive information in order to reduce risk of insider threat from malicious actors. Next, we have to implement these strategies of staying a vigilant organization can enhance defense against insider threat and protect their valuable assets and reputation. Another thing, we don't really have to trust too much. So in conclusion, insider threat remains a critical security concern for organizations, for ONPASSIVE. It is important for businesses like our company to implement a robust security measures, such as access control, monitoring tools, and employees training, which is important to train all the employees for them to know they go around about our company or any other company to prevent and detect insider threat. By staying vigilant and proactive, companies can mitigate the risk associated with the insider threat and protect their sensitive data and assets. So just to let each and everyone know, I want to take this opportunity to thank our CEO because he is a self-sacrificing man, a man who stated that either I do or I die, a man who decided to change the world. You guys, this world is going to be changed. Why do I say it's going to be changed? Some people, or some of us who were working as a nursing assistant, some of us who did not have jobs, but joining ONPASSIVE, believe it or not, pretty soon you all will be smiling. You all will be smiling. You guys notice that there are billionaires or millionaires out there who do not want our CEO to elevate us. But Mr. Ash Mufareh is determined to do what it takes. Do you guys know why? Because he trusts and believes in our Lord. He believes in God. And he always, the statement that I want to tell you guys, he makes that statement that no one can stop ONPASSIVE. Nobody can stop ONPASSIVE but God. And he said, the Lord talks to me. No, the force is talking to me. That's what Mr. Ash says. So he is here to help to serve humanity. That is his main goal. I want to thank Mr. Ash Mufera for everything that he has done and everything that he will continue to do to help all of us to succeed in life. Now, it all depends upon you and I. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready to protect your data from cyber criminals out there? Are you? Are you ready? Especially when it comes to our passwords. Are you ready to change your password every 90 days based upon the recommendation of the National Institute of Standard and Technology? Are you guys ready to do that? Now, the ball is in your court. I want to thank Dr. Derek for this amazing webinar. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to say something, especially when it comes to insider threat. Thank you, Queen Debbie. And this is where I got my information from, as you guys can see. Thank you again, Queen Debbie. I appreciate you. Thank you, Dr. Pat.
Wow, Dr. Benny, you nailed it, girls. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Insider threat. Thank you for nailing it to this level, for bringing it to this level, because we can see from your presentation how touched everyone is to know what insider threat is. And your training is just impeccably timed because it's happening at the moment where we need to be aware. It happens, and it will continue to happen. But you bringing it to our attention reminds us that we should always be vigilant, regardless of where we are, because whistleblowers are inside and out. And I have learned that. And some of us have learned it from personal experience, and reminding us is just something that is there, but we think it doesn't exist until it touches us. Then we come to realization that yes, it does exist. I appreciate Dr. Benny. I know a lot of people are eager to talk to you, to raise questions. I'll come back with mine later on about the pawns and the 10 clocks. But Queen Tony, over to you, my darling sis.
Thank you, Queen Debbie. Excellent presentation, Dr. Benny. Years and years ago, I used to work in data operations, IT, and all of that. I ended up being a support tech, and you're absolutely right. That was the type of stuff that we were always looking for. We were always having to change our passwords, machine passwords, like once a week. And being a support tech, I had to call everyone to get their new passwords so that I could get into their systems and do their backup and all that other stuff. And and then worked for a company and did programming. And so you're absolutely right. And when I worked for BASF, we were always being under attack for espionage or whatever you want to call it. They were stealing formulas. I worked in the coatings and inks department or division. And so they were always installing securities and things, and we had to oversee a lot of that. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. And I thank God for Mr. Ash being on the ball and on it. So that's a big headache. So I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. It's really happening. Do you know, I said I did not even know what I was going to present onto something that occurred within this company. I said, let me say something about, let me go and do a research on insider threat. Yes.
Your research was awesome, outstanding, and you You nailed it the way you presented it. It was just straight to the point. Instead of ranting for 1 hour and it would be difficult for anyone to retain, you just went right there. You gave every listener what they needed to know and how to be cautious so it does not happen. You shouldn't do that anywhere you go. Everyone you work for, you have to have faith in your employer as an employee, because you can become an employer tomorrow. So why jeopardize that opportunity if it does happen? But we forget it may not happen anyway. Thank you, Dr. Benny. I know there might be other people who would like to say something. I'm going to check in the chat. You have any question for Dr. Benny regarding her presentation? If not, I'll start calling on people that I see have not commented on this forum for a while, starting with Brother Kumaran. We always see you here. Sometimes you stay with us and sometimes you take a nap and then come back, but I know you're awake. Brother Kumaran, please say something before we move forward. If anyone else would like to speak, you can speak after Brother Kumaran if he's still with us. All right, you're blinking, but you're not. Your avatar is probably in La La Land. Anyone wants to comment on Dr. Benny's presentation? That was an outstanding presentation, Dr. Benny. I have to keep ringing and saying something about it because I really, really liked it. But my experience was not an insider threat. What I had was not insider, but one of your teachings in the past.
No problem, Queen Debbie. I mean, things are happening out there, but unfortunately, since we have 1.4, we do have 1.4 million accounts and maybe 1.1 million humans or brand ambassadors that join ONPASSIVE. Unfortunately, they are not attending webinars and they always call me to say what is going on. And they always complain why things are not going the way it's supposed to go. But if they attend webinars, like I said, you don't only have to attend Dream Teams or Deep Dive. We have maybe 200 webinars or more within ONPASSIVE that you can attend. But when it comes to security, I expect people to start attending because time is coming. I will not be here anymore to teach this password stuff when it comes to cyber criminals. If you guys can alert your friends, proceed.
DrBenny, thank you. Every time you come here and you enlighten me, and I know you enlighten everyone else. Hold on. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the education that you have given us, and to let you know that I have learned a lot. You touched on something tonight. The people in the medical field, we are screen and we are screen, double screen, because we are dealing especially with babies and the elderly. And not even the elderly, if your license is not up to par, you can't even go in the door. So we are screen and screen, double screen. Oh yeah, big time. So I'm so glad you touched on that. So I just want to thank you, and I know other people who are listening have been learning. So I'll be calling on you when something happens and I don't know what to do, because I'm always here.
I will answer you. No problem.
Wow. Thank you, Queen Madeline, for always being here to support. And I also want to acknowledge Queen Theda because she's been responding on the chat. Queen Theda, thank you so much for responding to Queen Agnes and Queen Agnes Ogo. Thank you as well. And Queen Rosanna, thank you. She wrote a beautiful message for Dr. Benny, and Queen Theda has been going through the chat and working on it. Queen Theda, thank you so much. We know you're busy, but to find time to be here, it's a blessing for us. You always come here and you take upon yourself to lead when you are able. Very much appreciated. And our brother who works 24/7, Queen Brother Mamadou Jallo, in the house, and his hand is raised. Over to you, Brother Mamadou. I know you're working. I don't have to ask. I can see.
Yes, yes, Sister Debbie. Guess what? I even forget where to raise my hand. I've been looking where I couldn't find it, so I had to use my physical hand.
We've all been so used to all connect. Now going back to Zoom, it's like, do we have to do this?
I've been searching where I can raise my hands. Oh my goodness. But thank God I found it. Oh my God. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all my beloved family. As you rightly said, yes, I'm in the middle of providing care, but I have to listening to my queen. Free stuffs are very good to enjoy. And thank you very much, Queen Denny, for willing to share with us, your hard-earned knowledge, because it costs you a lot, but now we are receiving it for free. Thank you very much. You rightly correct, everything you've highlighted. If you listening to radio, opening TV, you always hear about this cybersecurity breach. It happens within the company, it happens outside the company, and with different intentions. That's why, as you rightly said, we in the medical field, before you even be accepted to work or provide any service to the resident, you have to be thoroughly checked. You did a background check to know who you are, if you've ever committed any crime, because they don't want you to do anything that will harm the company. So everything you highlighted, is happening. And if I don't, I just wish it doesn't happen to our company, but it's possible that it's happening right in our company too, because everywhere it's happening. People are doing it for ransom, people are doing it for malicious, and they do it in all intentions. So thank you very much for highlighting it, so we'll about what we are doing and where we are. Thank you very much. So I don't have much to say. And for Dr. T, oh my goodness, everything you highlighted, I think I identify one or two that I'm lacking of, but I'll try to double up and make sure and do everything, because everything you highlighted is right on point. So thank you very much. Keep on sharing your ideas with us. And I hope some of us who are listening will emulate your example and your advices. So thank you. God bless you all. Okay?
Thank you, Brother Mamadou. Thank you. Keep doing what you do so you can support all the extended families that we have been blessed with. Brother Vital is next. I saw your hand up and now I no longer see it because we're relearning Zoom. So, Brother Vital, you're next after Brother Mamadou.
Okay, I had my hand up and then I'm still getting accustomed to going back to Zoom. And Dr. Ford, that was everything you shared with us was right on point. There was something I would love you to consider adding to that. And it's don't burn bridges. Don't burn bridges.
Yeah.
I think that's about short life of even if you get a new job and even into a new relationship and you figure that you didn't want to be with that person anymore, you get a new job and as we are getting ready to get into our business now and some of us are ready to quit the job and turn down the bridges. And you never know what's going to happen in the future. You got to come back. And one of the prime example, we got to come back to Zoom right now. So we never did burn down the Zoom bridge. Okay. I think one of those things in life that we all have to learn, you know, that when you have a relationship, don't burn bridges because you never know when you got to come back over that bridge, you know. And the one of the things that's the four that I wanted to talk about is the time management. Um, I had some issues with that. It's 24 hours in a day, and some of us said, man, I can't even find time to make you a phone call to say hello. I mean, give me a break. So your friend said, oh man, I'm so busy I can't even make a phone call. What? It's a bunch of crap. All right? So I put aside, like I thought, I don't need more than about 6 hours to sleep. I put aside six for sleeping. I put aside two for R&R, you know. And then the other 16, I'm going to use it, to occupy, do something very eventful. Um, so I had an issue with that before, and I decided to just manage my time better. And I find a lot of time. There's a lot of time in the day, to do whatever you want to do if you manage it wisely, you know. And regular health checkups. Wow, that was something you hit there right on the nail right there. Even now, even if you don't, you have to do regular checkups because you never know. You never know what's behind closed doors. And one of these days, you find stage 4 knocking at your door. And if you were just paying attention, you could have discovered it from stage 1. And one of the things that I've been doing is I'm a regular blood donor. I didn't even know my blood type until I started donating blood. And then you have to go through this rigorous test before they take your blood. And then during that period of time, if something is going on in your body, you can depict it right there too. Yeah, I mean, so you got to take care of your health because your health is your wealth, and that's the number one. It should be the number one on everybody's list to take care of your health. Um, I go to the gym in the morning and I say, man, I see some people there, they're trying, but I say, how did you manage to get yourself so badly out of shape? You know, we all do that because but there are people who just don't pay attention to their health, and and then it's good, and after all these years, and then they go back to into the gym and they expect things to happen overnight. After you have neglected yourself for 3 4 years, you want things to happen in the first month. You want to be, you know, that person who you're looking in the mirror and say, man, how do you get yourself like that? So we got to pay attention to our health. And in this business that we are in now, and if we're really going to be uplifting humanity, and work hard to fulfill Mr. Ash's vision and mission. Health is the number one.
Yes.
I've seen a gentleman by the name of Mr. John White. I don't know if you ever see him. I see Mr. John White. He's about half his size now. He's about half his size. He lost over 100 pounds, or 200 pounds, whatever it was. I mean, and it's all about self-discipline.
Yes.
It's all about determination and self-discipline.
Yep.
So I just want to make some comment on that, Dr. Ford, that you're right on point with those. But I would add that don't burn bridges as the number 13. Because I tend to do this sometimes. Because
Yes.
Dr. B, I'm telling you, I know that right here in our own company, this inside thing is going on right now. I know you didn't come out and say it, but you alluded to it, and people just have to be very careful. Be careful of Dr. Benny and change your password very frequently. She recommends every 90 days. Dr. Benny was that every 90 days you say?
Yes, please. As I
Yes.
said, by
Yeah.
recommending, I got it from the National Institute of Standard and Technology. I know it is not my recommendation, but sometimes when you go and do research, you listen, you read, just like Dr. T does her research, and then you give credit to those people. So that's why I say I got it from the National Institute of Standard and Technology.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wasn't into technology before I came to ONPASSIVE. I would get on the computer and write an email here and there, and I was not into technology, and I didn't care either because there was no need for me to be in there. But now this is a part of our business. It's a part of our business, and we need to start paying attention because I think Sister Giga was talking about something at the back. I was listening to the news here in Florida just today, where this gentleman was reporting that $2,800 was missing from his account. It was the bank that was stealing his money. The bank. Because we get the bank statements, Mr. David, we got to all get accustomed to looking at it because we have the tendency just to look at the last withdrawal or the last debit, the last credit. But we got to review it week after week because some things are going on, and by the time you look around, you find out it's going on over the past 6 months, and you weren't paying attention. And so, there is I know you all know who Usain Bolt is, that runner, world's fastest man. He lost $12 million. His money was stolen from his account. $12 million. So, because he wasn't paying attention. So we have to start paying attention and to those numbers, make sure that we protect our income and protect our money. And that you've been here preaching this week after week after week, sometimes twice a week. And if people don't get it, they can't blame you. They're getting free education. FREE education. So we don't have to go anywhere else, can get it right here and deep dive for free. They need to pay attention to you, and listen to you, what you're saying. And but we appreciate what you brought to the table tonight, and just encourage everybody to pay attention. Pay attention to what Dr. Ford is saying. Pay attention to stress management. Pay attention to having a consistent prayer life. Pay attention to time management. Pay attention to your social connection, especially, you know, because, there are some people you don't need to be around. Please, you know, there are some people we don't need to be around. And whenever you find them, you just weed them out of your life. Goodbye. Mr. Debbie, that's all I have to say, my dear. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Brother Vital. You always have a lovely input on every week's mindset, every webinar's mindset when you show up. The presenters, the presenter of the day, you always have very good insights. We are so grateful. We appreciate you always being with us. I'll see if Dr. Benny has a comment for you or remark before we move forward. Over to you, Dr. Benny.
Well, I want to really thank Brother Vital because he acknowledges everything and he knows what is happening within our organization. He knows maybe why I did by presenting this insider threat. Today, something happened. And I said, all of us, we really have to be careful. But most importantly, the company itself has to be careful who they hire. And this thing that we trust, in which we're not supposed to, trustworthy people, you trust your employer, your employees, you trust them, unfortunately. So I urge each and everyone, any company, as you guys listen to Dr. I call myself DB, you call listening, please do not trust your employees. I want you to trust yourself, be very strong and vigilant. Thank you, Queen Debbie. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you, Dr. Benny Intinglet. Thank you. Yes, our Brother Vital, I heard your voice. Please go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Oh, okay. I thought you wanted to comment again.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
Okay. Thanks, Dr.
Benny, Dr. Benny, Dr. Benny, I know what you're talking about, so, just leave it right there.
All right, I'm going to call now on our brother Lazarus. He's been patiently waiting for his turn. Welcome, my dear brother. It's your turn now. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is over there. But here it is just about 3 a.m. now in Nigeria.
You're still awake in Nigeria. We're so honored to have you with us.
I'm awake because of the importance I have for this very platform. I always try to make it, but with the introduction of OConnect, quite a lot of the functionality, how to navigate it when you are meeting, I have been missing it because I wasn't there when the teaching was going on. So I have a void, and that is why you will not be seeing me. But when I saw today again that we can revert to Zoom, I was able to connect easily. I want to congratulate our dear queen, our sister, Dr. Benny. She did a very beautiful job and she nailed it at the head. Insider information and insider threats is something that is very, very crucial. And it's so important that a company like us that is has never had that experience, because the elders have a saying that experience is the best teacher. Mm-hmm. And when we entered into a company like this, as God has given the vision to our CEO, a global company that has never existed, we will know that quite a lot of threats are going to come from various angles. And this is what our CEO has been suffering. And I think that the only thing that I can see in this matter is that the people he has trusted, is a human being, he needed some help. It's a job he cannot carry all by himself, but he needed close allies and workers and associates and partners that could at least help him to speed the process. But what do we find? They kept him under complete siege. And what he wants to do for us, because he has brought us by webinars, and we followed him up, are his thought and vision. And for any founder to be an insider that wants him to pay or wants to sell his information to for any reason, either whether you want to do it maliciously or you want to do it for gain or you want to do it just to hurt the people he wants to help, which is what I believe mainly that Ash is having all this problem because they do not want him to help us, the founders, the masses that he wants to operate. And that is a very, very tall, goal he's striving at. And from time to time, those people he trusted are bound to be patient with him. And then they will try to do him any. This is true. And that is why this topic is very important. And when I read what I read, I shook my head. I said, this man is only God. Because it's only God that can guide him. It's only God that can give him the spirit. And he has to cultivate the spirit of God. I know he has been trying to run away from whatever leaning of faith it belongs because he has to carry every humanity. But we have to pray him into that mindset that God should possess him completely, because he can't help himself now. And we that he's trying to help, most of us cannot help him, but only by prayers. It's God that gives character. And if he sees that because you have made it in the corporate world, you have made it in the academic world, you have made it in the business world, in the social world, and then he wants to bring you close to learn from you. And instead of being faithful, you begin to get closer to him so that you can have access to his intimate knowledge of what he's trying to do. God will definitely not prosper such people. And God will definitely expose them. That is why he has succeeded to this point. And we need, my point of emphasis is that we need to back him up in prayers and speak and speak his spirit for God to possess him completely. And anybody that he sees by hunch or spirit, he will know this is a correct person. This is a person of a good character. There are three things that we have in this life: wealth, health, and talent. When he said, if you miss wealth, you have missed something. If you miss health, you have missed something. But when you miss character, you have missed all. So these people that he is recruiting to help him, he should pray God to expose the characters of these people to him. Even those of us who are his, founders. And I'm very sure many of us are, and many of them are not even as patient as he is to say, he said, don't deal. We will get there. He's still carrying us. Yes, some are still complaining and bitter. Why has this thing not been dropping? What have you spent to even be talking like that negatively? Even the negative naysayers are part of this insider knowledge too. So we should discourage all those people and tell them if they are not ready, let them pack their load and go. Leave us in this company with this man and let God do what he wants to do through him for all of us. So I just want to end it up here. For some time I have not been. I just appreciate you all. I thank God for you, Dr. Benny. You really dealt with it today to my satisfaction. I think I see everybody trying to run away from the issue. The issue is clear. People he trusted are leaving because they have gotten the information they want to give. We pray God to help them. That is all. In Jesus' name.
Amen, Brother Lazarus, Brother King Lazarus. Amen.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
We thank you for staying awake. I know what it means because when I travel, that's what I do. 2, 3 a.m., I'm up for webinars. And you are still awake. And using your data to do this. You didn't have to, but it was something that you needed to share. And here you are sharing it. Thank you so much. I'll let Dr. Benny comment, please, Dr. Benny.
Brother Lazarus, I will call you my king, Brother Lazarus. You're supposed to be sleeping, but you decided to come and attend this webinar. I thank you for your acknowledgement, for your support, and for your love, knowing what is happening right now. And you believe in me because that's what is happening. And that's why I chose this particular topic. I never knew. It just came yesterday that I should do it. And I am so happy that I did it. And I'm glad that you love it as well. And I pray that companies, not only ONPASSIVE, when they're hiring, I know that sometimes people will come and show their fakeness and you would think that, oh, they're so good. Yeah, some of them are knowledgeable, but some of them are just coming to steal the information so that they can go out there and sell it. That's what people are doing all over the globe. Never mind, let me stop. I'll be quiet. Thank you. And have a good night's sleep, Brother Lazarus. Yes, sir.
I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you once more, Brother Lazarus, and we'll see you again very soon. And I don't see any other hand raised, so I want to call on our wonderful brother and king, the one and only Dr. Derek, who has given us this platform. If you're around, but before you speak, Dr. Derek, I would call on our sister to say her final words, Dr. Benny, your final words, and then I'll call on Dr. Derek. I just wanted him to be ready because I know he has several things he's working on.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm happy that you all understand. I believe why I chose this particular topic today. Insider threat. Insider threat remains a critical security concern, not only within ONPASSIVE, but within all the companies all over the globe. If you have your own company. So it is important for businesses to implement a robust security measures such as access control, monitoring tools, and employee training. I would say employee training should be really number one. I gave you an example that, yes, I used to work with DC government. Now, let's say I'm with Homeland Security. I don't know what Homeland Security has. So they need to teach me their environment, what is going on, what they want me to do, uh, the rules, my own responsibilities. And it's not only for me, but all the employees, wherever you go. Training, training, training is important. The reason for the training is to prevent and dictate insider threat. So by staying vigilant and proactive, companies can mitigate the risk associated with insider threat and to protect their sensitive information. Last but not the least, please, when it comes to your password, based upon the National Institute of Standard and Technology, make sure you recreate your password or you change your password every 90 days. Do you guys understand? You guys know that pretty soon we'll start receiving the apples. The apples are coming. They are coming. Now, can you please change your password? Give it strong characters. It should be at least, let me say 12 hours or more. Please, can you do that? Thank you so much, Queen Debbie, for giving me this opportunity. And I want to thank Dr. Derek for this amazing platform.
Thank you, Dr. Benny, Dr. Ntinglet. Thank you so much. We're looking forward to more in the future, but for now, we appreciate today's. All right, our king and brother, Dr. Derek, has given us this platform where we meet every Tuesday and Thursday, and he emphasizes on two things, the mindset and health. And the third one, which I know he also is for, is what Dr. Benny is talking about, security. At this stage, I will say, Dr. Derek, you're in the house. I know for the last thing that I said, cyber security, as I was telling Dr. Benny, I had an experience today where I saw something pending on my charges, which I have no idea what it was, had not authorized it. I checked with every family member. They didn't even know what I was referring to. I called my credit card company, and lo and behold, that wasn't the first. There's several of them in the past. So all of them had to be fished out. And now there's an investigation going on. And it's not $10, it's a lot. So, and if I did not see the pending today, I would not have known the other ones because the internet connectivity, depending on where I was at the time it happened, it did not pop up at the right time. So I didn't see it pending before it clears. So being vigilant is very, very important. So please let us not forget to be. Yes, Dr. Benny.
Yes, please. I just want to read something from Nidane that she wrote to Dr. T and some of this so that the world should know, if you don't mind.
Please proceed. It's important.
Queen Nadine. Nadine. She said, my goodness, Dr. T, great information. We all do need all those 12 highlighted in our life. Number 12 should be the first, which means the Lord continues to inspire us with the exceptional mindset given on this platform. Yes, this is to Dr. T.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Please. And I agree. Yes. Number 12 should be number 1, but I always put number 12 so that you will remember it. There you go.
Thank you. I have more. This is for Queen Rosanna. Good evening, everyone. I pray for Mr. Ash, his family, and the ONPASSIVE team every day, every night. And I would like everyone to also pray for them so that God can do a work in this company and bless all of us. Love you all. Then Aggie says, hello, everybody. I am so glad to be able to join you all today from Nigeria. And then you have Teda King. Great presentation. Well, as for me, right? You always hit it out of the pack with the information you provided each week. Thank you for your time and commitment in educating us. I have one more. You have Queen Rosanna. We are so thrilled to have you enlightening our understanding on cybersecurity and how important it is to know what cybersecurity and the danger it can cause companies. We appreciate that you are doing in educating us. We are all in it to win it. Praise God for Mr. Ash Mofare. Then Brother Taylor King is thanking Brother Lazarus for staying up tonight, that his words are profound. Thank you for your contribution, Brother Lazarus from King Teda King. Thank you, Queen Debbie, for giving me the opportunity to read it.
Thank you as well, Dr. Benny. Very much appreciate that. And Dr. Derek, are you in the house? Dr. Derek, I appreciate it. You said it all, so all I have to do is appreciate all the 28 of us who are here. I do not need to name you, but just to remind everyone to stay put for our next presenter, the one and only Dr. Queen Nadu Lawson, who is our regular DJ here, making us be happy and look forward to what is going to happen the next day. So thank you to our YouTube viewers, and we'll see you again very soon. And over to you, Queen Dr.